6 months ago, I realized something. The thing that I had built wasn't becoming what I wanted it to. It wasn't becoming what I had hoped it would. As a matter of fact, that's kind of a hard thing to admit. Because Leads Made Simple was never meant to be just another weekly Zoom. In fact, I struggle with professional meeting attenders, people that don't produce any results, but they show up at everything, and they just, are frequently cheerleaders, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, we try to help people here. And so it was kind of becoming something different than I intended. And that is truthfully hard to swallow. Leads Made Simple was born out of a frustration with people in my industry and the sales industry at large being so territorial over the things that they knew and had learned, many the hard way. They didn't want to share them. In fact, it was the opposite of not wanting to share them. It was actually the fact that they would pick on people that were new to the industry I was in. You would have these people that probably bought a franchise or quote unquote independent operators, self-made people allegedly. And the truth is that these guys would go into groups I was in on Facebook, and when a new person would ask a question or ask for help, they would ridicule them and mock them. And if they didn't like their style of business, then they would just go after them, and it is ridiculous. We built Leads Made Simple. It was never meant to be a recruiting meeting. It wasn't for one company. It wasn't even industry specific. It was designed to fix one problem. You see, most people don't have a leads problem. They have a conversation problem. Most people, if they knew how to create some conversations, then they would be able to create opportunities to excel in their business. We started out teaching communication, then conversations, then networking, then relationships, even social media, right? Then we taught systems, and eventually I realized I wasn't just teaching leads anymore. I was teaching opportunity, and that's the evolution. And the truth is, I know I don't have all the answers, and neither do you. That's why we read books. That's why we listen to podcasts. That's why we go to trainings, and that's why I developed Leads Made Simple. Not so that I could give all the answers out, but so that I could disseminate the information I did have and put people in touch with folks that did have more answers. And hence the next evolution of Leads Made Simple. We're starting the Leads Made Simple podcast. And to say that I've struggled with this decision is a tough one, because I love the people that show up for our weekly Leads Made Simple trainings on Monday night. But now we're going to switch to a new format. We're going to go with a podcast, and we're going to do a once a month boot camp. And we're going to go out and find answers. I love the Monday nights, but I realized that I was spending so much time preparing for one weekly training that I wasn't creating content that could reach thousands instead of just 10 or 20. I also realized that people had to take time out of their schedule in order to be there on Monday nights. Hence, one of the rules I had was that if you showed up on Monday night, you could get the recording, but if you didn't show up, you wouldn't get the recording. Well, how is that helping the masses? So I would release shorts into our Leads Made Simple group, which if you're not a member on Facebook, get in there because it's about to explode. I would send out trainings to different people on my team or new people I came across. But at the end of the day, it was just a really, really limited capacity. One of my mottos is be in the room. Well, you can be in the room all you want, but if you only have one room, then only so many people are going to fit in it, right? And you should be in the room. You really should. But what I want to do is I want to build a table. I want to build a place where I can sit down with entrepreneurs and executives, which we've did in the past. We've had the CEO of Experior on. We've had multi-million-dollar earners on. We've had people making $500,000 on. We've had a lot of great content, a lot of great experiences together. But I want to add in business owners and firefighters and teachers and networkers, people who have figured out something worth sharing. I want to learn with you, not just give out the information that I have, but I want to learn with you. So, if you've ever felt like your life could be something bigger, if you felt like your business could be something bigger, your relationships could be something bigger, then I hope you're going to pull up a chair with us, because it's about to get started. And we are looking forward to sitting down with lots of people. We have people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We have people from California, Florida, Maryland, Delaware, all over, that have agreed to be on this podcast. We're going to talk about how are they getting in front of people. We're going to talk about real life methods. You see, when we started this, one of the things I realized was that people didn't have the money to go out and buy leads or pay for a lot of advertising or other things of that nature. They needed real grassroots ways to get in front of people. And there was a book out years ago called Guerrilla Marketing. That book was a tremendous book, and it talked about low-cost ways to get in front of people. And I think the biggest thing I got out of that book was to be creative. So I've been singing for my supper since I was 14 years old. One of my first independent excursions was to sell like 100 tons of rocks out of our driveway. It wasn't really in our driveway, but they were inside of an old milking parlor. It had been filled in so that people could park equipment in there, because the cows were not in there anymore. And when they went to tear that down, we sold those rocks to our neighbors and redid their driveways. And I guess we were in the reclamation business before it was popular, right? Well, nowadays, it's easier than ever to get in front of people. We create content. We build email campaigns. We do all kinds of things that help people get in front of people. And I've taught them over the last 18 months on this weekly training. And we're going to continue to have a boot camp where we teach these things. But at the end of the day, there are so many success stories out there that if people that were successful went on podcasts every single week and decided that they were going to share all their secrets, there wouldn't be enough podcasts. So we want to do everything we can to get the word out and share the stories of successful people, so that you, your friends, other people in your industry can take these stories and apply them to your real life. We know that no one person has every piece of information necessary, and I'm certainly not going to ever claim that myself. In fact, there's a verse in the Bible that says that there's nothing new under the sun. And the truth is that I've been reading books and studying people since I was little. And everything I've ever did was a result of something I read, heard, or listened to. So it was not that I was some kind of a genius, but just learn from other people, like I'm sure you want to. Now we want to bring those people right straight to your vehicle, your living room, your office, your workout, so that you can hear different voices, people that you can relate to, people that started with nothing, people that were doing a side hustle and lost their job, and their side hustle became their full-time gig, people that started at one company and had moderate success and then went on to found multi-million or even $100 million companies. We're going to bring these stories each and every week. We're excited about what the future holds, and we can't wait for you to go on this journey with us so that we can learn together. So pull up a chair. We're just getting started.